everybody, my name is Markiplier, and I am a fish.
Yo, yo, yo. It's slightly better than mediocre YouTuber Fish here. At the time of this video coming out, it's either just been Christmas, or it's just been the New Year's. So, either Merry Christmas, or I hope you had a good Christmas, or I hope you had a good New Year's, or fucking whatever. Or this video is 20 minutes long and it comes out halfway through fucking January. And thank you to the people who subbed last video, because not only did I beat my friend who hasn't uploaded in 4 years, I also beat my friend with literally 0 videos on his entire channel. Did that fact annoy me every time I made a video? Yes, 1000%. Did that stop me from being the best ultra mega triple Z-list YouTuber? No. So, who really won? Obviously, now I've got to beat my other friend who hasn't seriously uploaded in 3 years, so I can beat the dogshit video allegations in my upcoming court case. If I don't win, then I can't go to jail, and I will be taking my lawyer out with me. Hello, and welcome. Oh, fuck's sake, I used this joke in the last video. Whatever. Cut the absolutely beautiful music. I need to get into this right now. Have you ever played something or watched something and thought to yourself, man, that was written like complete shit. I wish I didn't have to sit through that fucking garbage. But you still, I guess, picked up what the creators were putting down. It's just that what they were putting down was kind of shit. But it managed to, like, nail 1 or 2 things and left some sort of impression on you, or let it linger in your memories for longer than a completely irredeemable fucking garbage piece of ass would. Or more specifically, a piece of media that manages to be terribly written overall, but have very well established and executed theming. So I think that's very interesting, because you typically think as theming kind of being inseparable from writing. You can't really have something that feels like well written with shit theming, because that would be boring and it would fail to keep your attention, and therefore be shit writing, probably, in your own opinion. I'm sure there are examples that you could probably think of, maybe, but overall, no, not really a thing generally. I think it's important to note that I've got no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to writing. I don't know how to write things. I do not intend to learn how to write things. Basically, I'm going off of vibes for this. The only thing I know how to do is think about stuff, and that is my one skill set in life. And to kind of give you an idea of what I mean when what I'm saying, I will give you the example that I kind of made this video for. Sorry, I've got to get dramatic for this. So, this particular piece of media is about the struggles of the common man against rampant, unchecked corporatism, or capitalism. It makes a commentary on revolutionism, and how necessary it can be for political or societal change, and tries to approach the topic of the violence that would bring as an evil necessity for a better world. It justifies this with the environmental, socioeconomic, and even interpersonal destruction that late-stage capitalism brings. It tries to show how companies don't care about their workers, and oftentimes how they're actively trying to make their lives worse for their own profit through unbearable labor or social engineering. Ultimately, the message that it tries to convey, all points put together, is one of futility. It, I guess, makes a point about just, like, the powers that be are too numerous and powerful to ever really be brought to justice by any amount of the common man. So nobody's actions are particularly important. That's kind of dark. I did try and find some sort of silver lining to it, but the only one I could think of was the real justice was the friends they made along the way type beat, but I don't think that's particularly satisfying. But anyway, what am I talking about? What is this thing that I'm mentioning that treats these topics with subtlety and importance? That would be Borderlands 2. One of the worst written AAA video games ever produced. And I think most people that have played it, or even fucking heard about it, would probably agree with that. But I do believe every single word of what I just said wholeheartedly. And I don't want to just shit on it without giving some sort of explanation or example. So I guess I'll go over what I think the game did right and what it did wrong, writing-wise. Because I think it's important not to just shit on something, I suppose, even if it is obviously bad. I just think it's important to talk about it, at least in some sort of detail, and not just, like, accept it as such. Oh, shit, hang on, one of my editing chimps give me a note. Let me have a look. This one's probably nothing. This is from the viewers. Whoever wrote this was having a stroke. Let me get a closer look. Dear famous YouTuber Fish, you must make more jokes due to the fact that you are boring the shit out of us. Best wishes, Fish viewer. Damn, I gotta start using my actual hands for this. Wait, what am I even supposed to take away from that? Whatever. I guess we'll start with the stuff I think Borderlands did wrong. I'm gonna have to immediately bring up the elephant in the room, which is... Holy shit. They could not have done a worse job if they tried. The dialogue struggles to get across its intended tone very badly. Most of the time it's intended to be a comedy-type beat, and for now I'm going to ignore how badly it fails at that. I'll get onto that later. The comedy, quote-unquote, parts really make it hard to take the game seriously when it wants to be taken seriously.
Being that Dahl brought many workers here, including myself, and left without evacuating most of us. The bandits you fight out there used to be family men, workers, scientists. We're all broken because of them. Perhaps someday I will uncover these secrets and, further down the line, invent a dance based around season.
Which really puts a damper on it as a whole, because it's actually not bad when it really tries to take itself seriously. As that's where most of the actual impactful writing kind of happens, as you could probably imagine. But that's a very small portion of the dialogue. I guess I'll touch on the humor, I guess. I'm not really sure how to approach this topic with any form of nuance. They just do a flat-out terrible job. I think where the writers struggle the most with the jokes is any form of surprise on the punchline. Jokes are often too safe, where the punchline is always just something kind of a little silly.
Bloody balls! One of all his trademarks! Ugh, sod it! I'm so sick of coming up with names for... You know what? Bonafart. All of the... That's right, we're calling them Bonafarts now.
And definitely not out of left field to actually kind of defy your expectations at all. It establishes that that's how the humor is going to operate pretty fucking early in, so you have a lot of time to really get comfortable with them all sucking complete fucking ass. I think the final thing I want to mention about the writing being bad is that the plot is a little contrived at times.
Check.
And it also borders on an idiot plot.
Check.
A couple times, has a couple huge plot holes.
Check.
And some of the characters don't act like they normally would.
Check.
For the purpose of advancing the plot.
Check.
Okay, but seriously, there are some really weird, like, aberrations in the plot that just feel like the writers couldn't think of a way to progress the story or show the impact of something naturally. Like the previous clip, where the main villain teleports in and one-taps a major character, which raises a shit ton of questions, like, why did he never do that before or after? Why didn't he use his magical one-shotting gun in the final fight? And another part of the game where a boss is hyped up to be super difficult, then sucks complete ass to show that your character is super awesome and strong or whatever. It just comes across wrong. Most people just accepted it as the boss being just weak, instead of your character being strong, which was definitely the intended message. But I think I've got my point across with that. There's one more thing I want to mention, even though I said the last thing was the last thing I wanted to mention. I want to talk about a character called Tannis, specifically because I think she kind of embodies a pretty decent amount of what I just said. That's not what I want to talk about. What I do want to talk about is that she's supposed to be autistic, and I mean, like, come the fuck on. Are you serious? The Borderlands 2 writing team couldn't find inspiration for a realistic depiction of autism and how it affects someone. That's so stupid. That's like dying of hunger in the middle of a buffet. There is no way that there was even a single person on the writing team who didn't have autism. Well, anyway, that's all I had to say about the bad stuff. I'll take my hating pants off now. Alright, I'm gonna try not to say the word corporation more than like 15 million times, because while I was writing this, literally could not fucking figure out how to get around it. But anyway, I already mentioned the theming, but the game constantly hits you with it, like, in almost every piece of dialogue, almost every piece of the environment. You'll be able to get, like, little pieces of the themes the games try to portray. Speaking of the themes showing up everywhere, I like that the Hyperion space station, which Hyperion's the main company that's, like, the bad guy in this. Honestly, if you're watching this video, you probably already played Borderlands, I'm not gonna lie. But regardless, I like that the Hyperion space station is visible from almost everywhere, and is like basically a visual representation of a corporation literally looming over the entire planet. Oh my god, someone threw a fucking rock at my house. I hope that wasn't a convenient excuse to not know how to segue these points together. This clip that I showed earlier explains that pretty much every human enemy you fight is in some way related to a corporation's misdeeds, which, huge W writing-wise. It's crazy that the Borderlands writing team could come up with something that subtle, that has that much of an impact. I like that all the weapon manufacturers are treated the same in terms of morality, which is good, considering it, you know, it would ruin the whole point if any of them were just good for no reason, like, but they would never do that in some sort of sequel. No, it wouldn't happen, that would be stupid. Also, if you've played Borderlands, you're probably wondering about Mr. Torg. He does fit into that as well. If they wrote Mr. Torg today, it would be a very unsubtle jab at someone like fucking Elon Musk or something. But I like that they at least made him like the dumbass dude bro, like kind of Silicon Valley type beat. There's like a range at least, not just, ooh, corporation bad, in like the same way, like 8 times in a row, copy pasted. I haven't mentioned any of the game's DLC actually, because I don't think it's very necessary for this video. They don't really have the same story or themes in them a lot of the time. I would like to mention one of them, which is the Christmas themed mini DLC, where they mention that Christmas itself in this universe was a holiday that was literally made by a company. Despite the fact that's not even subtle a little bit, I still like what they were going for with that. Oh, and shit, you probably expect me to mention Handsome Jack. He's alright. He functions well as a villain, but suffers from the inconsistency that plagues a lot of the characters. But other than that, he's fine. He's not as unique anymore because the shtick of a villain shit-talking all the time has been done a bunch. And in 2012, he was. I don't really think he lives up to his reputation, but he's very much fine. Unremarkable, actually, you could probably say. But I suppose that's pretty much it when it comes to, like, the positive side of the writing. I didn't mention some characters that were fine. Most of the characters aren't, but there was, like, Mordecai and, like, Brick, they're alright. But I would only leverage it as a positive if they were actively good, which they aren't. It's just that they are good in comparison to the rest of the characters in this game. Yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say about Borderlands 2. But I hope you get what I mean with the bad writing and good theming thing. Borderlands 2 is probably the best example I could think of. The difference between its writing quality and its theming quality was the largest one I could immediately think of. There are some other examples I thought of, like Chainsaw Man or even fucking Evangelion to an extent, but I don't think the difference between the writing and theming was extreme enough to really show off my point as well as Borderlands 2 did. And you know, the fucking things up in an interesting way is better than just being boring at least. But anyway, that's all I have to say on the matter. Fucking like and subscribe and shit. But also, this is definitely the direction my channel is headed, like this sort of video. And also the last one. I'm probably gonna private all my videos that are in this sort of style at some point. I'm just enjoying making these more. But yeah. I'm not making videos anymore. That's Adam.
Yay!